an entrepreneur, somebody who's doing their own thing. I'm wondering, does it really matter age? On this episode of Soapbox Wisdom, Barbara Menino and I are going to be talking about age. And oh, by the way, it's our birthday week.
So
Happy
it
birthday,
is.
Barbara. I know it's been a couple of days for you. Yesterday was my birthday. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you and happy birthday to you too. Did you do anything fun?
Yesterday, not really. I tend to work, but oh, I got to tell you though, last weekend I cut down a tree in my yard. Had to be a 6-inch diameter tree, and I said, "Nah, it's got to go." And I got my saw out, and I don't have a chainsaw, so it was all muscle. And the next day, I felt fine. I was perfectly fine. How about you? Did you do anything fun for
Well,
your birthday?
I have to comment, that's very impressive. And I wish my husband were around because he admires women who do yard work, and cutting a tree is yard work on steroids. So I definitely am going to tell him that story. I didn't do anything special over the weekend, really special, just had some nice gatherings with family and friends. But on my birthday, my kids, my son and daughter, and my granddaughter, and Ross, my husband, and I went out to dinner. So it was a very nice celebration, a very
Mm.
nice birthday. But the celebration is never over. I believe one should celebrate for a month. So I've got a ways to go, and by my standards, so do you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
One month.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. That's awesome. But yeah, so this is our birthday week. It's just amazing. I mean, when we first met and after some time of talking and then birthdays came into the picture, we're like, what? Your birthday? We're, side by side. Like, how is that possible? Uh to
I mean, it is kind of a random coincidence. And I do remember the conversation. It came up just very coincidentally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But and we can say we're not going to say our ages, but we are baby boomers. So and we're very proud of that
Definitely.
we are baby boomers.
We are
Uh
indeed
and
baby boomers.
yeah, and I've been encouraged over the years of meeting so many other business owners that are baby boomers, and I don't, maybe some of them are beyond that I mean, when I'm thinking, oh gosh, am I getting too old, should I stop doing this, but then I look at others around me and it's like, wow, they're still going. They're building their businesses. I mean, business coaches that I've had, people in those groups and everything, they've got business coaches, and some people are just starting a business at this age, and it just makes me feel really good to see so many people doing that.
And if you think about it, what would you actually be doing if you weren't doing your business? I've written a lot on people who either retire early or retire late from their primary jobs. And in each of those scenarios, the thing that kept people going on at their jobs, and these were largely academics or that made them retire early because they wanted to do volunteer work and follow a lifelong passion. It was always predicated on the fact that they had stuff that they still felt they had yet to do. And they wanted to live the good life and the vibrant life to do it.
Yeah, yeah. But as much as I'm enjoying what I'm doing and meeting so many others and seeing how driven they are to keep going, I know for me, and I think for you too, we were talking recently about the overwhelm of being told you have to do this in your business. You've got to be on the social media for how many hours a day, or all these different things, and it's rather overwhelming. And well, part of me thinks, oh well, because of my age, I've had so many years to I have to let go of stuff in the past in order to make room for the new stuff. I don't know. Is it an age thing that we tend to get, fed up with all of the we have to do this and we have to do that, and we just want to, push back, or I don't know.
That's an interesting question. So first, I would say, knowing you as I do and knowing myself, we are certainly not people who are set or stuck in our ways. And we are always open to new ideas and trying new things. But you do raise an interesting point. Is it an age consideration? Does technology play a part? The
Nope.
20 and 30 somethings.
Nope. I'm good with that.
I know you're really adept at technology, but those young people are even more adept at, not than you, but they grew up with technology. So I don't know if that's a factor that sometimes causes people who are a little bit older to shy away. But I don't know. Maybe the world is changing. I've found some examples of people pushing back on their desire to stay away from this extreme preoccupation with social media. And you mentioned some situations as well, people focused on developing relationships that
Mm.
matter rather to the vast expanses through social media.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. When you're a lot of it's marketing of your business, getting out there. There are different avenues to take. And something that I'm seeing more of is the talk about the relationship marketing of building, like your group of people that you're connected with. They know you really well, you know them really well, and referring people and what. But that takes a lot to build that up. Well, and any avenue that you take, it's going to take a while. But I think we would rather work on something like that than like, "Oh, geez, I have to be on social media again." It's, uh,
Well, sometimes if you look at social media, I often find that some of the real pleasure in it is when I can either provide a comment to someone that is personal in nature, shows appreciation of what they've said, knowledge of what they've done, etc. I find those to be the most rewarding interchanges on social. And relationship marketing is a version of that. If you think about it, when you talk about building community, it really does speak to the idea that we all hear in marketing of determining who your ideal customer is and cultivating a relationship with that person, and kind of like you would throw a stone in still pond water, there's a ripple. Because if one of your ideal customers is really drawn to you, they speak about you to others. They smile when they say your name. And that enables you getting to know more people and presents the opportunity of you developing relationships with them.
mhm. But again, is it an age thing? That we, like we would rather spend time with doing something like that versus maybe spending more time on social. I don't know. I mean, the young, the 20 somethings, the 30 something business owners. I'm just curious if anyone is listening out there. I'd love to know your viewpoint on that. But I'm just curious. I tend to think about these things. So today's question is it an age thing?
I would love to know that too, because in writing for a variety of clients, when companies write to younger people, they are talking about attracting young people who um, are cause oriented, who care about the environment, which would suggest that that younger group has caring for things and other people. I would love to hear responses from some young people in the audience. It would, as
Yeah.
you say, be edifying.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I was thinking, Barbara, when I talked about earlier, being so encouraged by so many other baby boomers and older people continuing their business or starting a business. Something else that I find fascinating in this world of being a business owner is the word retirement versus moving on to the next phase. I made a mistake one time on my Make It Click podcast. I had a guest on. He and his wife were local to me here. They had sold their business and moved to Florida. And as I was talking to him on my show, I made the comment about retiring to Florida. He's like, "Oh, I didn't retire to Florida." It was just like it's the next phase, because he went from just owning a business up here. Now he is a business coach down there, but it's just going to the next phase of his life. And and I've thought about this myself, because I don't think of retirement. I don't know why I even used that word, he retired. But what do are you seeing kind of the same thing with business owners, that they don't really use that word?
Absolutely. And I think that term moving on to the next phase is a wonderful way of looking at it. I have also written on longevity, and I wrote for one client, longevity is a gift and it's complicated. And the fact of the matter is that people are living longer. And so it opens up a whole span of time. And it really is a gift in that it provides the opportunity to do stuff for your life that maybe you've always wanted to do or couldn't do before. I also think that flexibility is a factor when you move on to the next phase. It's no longer really just retiring, the old image of sitting on a porch or living on the golf course. It's no longer that. It's maybe being able to call your own shots. Do you
Mhm.
know? Working on your own, being able to lunch with a friend, and then you're at the office, which is your desk in your home office, till 11 or 12 at night. It's just a different dynamic, and it offers a lot of rewards. I think it's very encouraging for current baby boomers and all the people growing up behind us.
Yes, and it's not even a thing of that a lot of these people have to go into another business, go to another. It's they want to.
Yep.
It's that people like us don't know how to sit still, I think. Um,
Yes, that's right.
Even though we do a lot, you and I both do a lot of sitting at our computers, but it's still, we've gotta be creating something. We've gotta be doing something. I hate to use that cliche, change the world. But I think that's a lot of the reason that so many people keep going. Oh,
Well, making the world a better place, changing the world, on the one hand, it sounds so grandiose. But if you just think about it, we all have our own corner of the world. And even if we concentrate on making a difference in our corner, we've had an impact. And that corner of the world, somebody in our corner is going to reach out to another tribe or community and offer some insight that will have some impact that might, foster more change. So it's quite a cumulative thing, and it really is exciting. And it's the incentive to keep on keeping on and
yes, yes,
going to that next phase.
yes. So hope our listeners are paying attention. And if you're one of the younger listeners, look out. We're not going anywhere. We're
No,
staying
no,
active.
no. And also having you recognize that, it's not over at 50. No small voices or lack of voices or thinking that you're on the downhill. There's wonderful life ahead. and you start getting more ownership the older you get. There's a little unfilteredness and unfetteredness and fieriness that's quite wonderful.
That there is, that there is. Well, I don't know about you, Barbara, but here's to celebrating.
Yes, I told you celebration for a month. Perfect.
Let's keep the celebration going, and who, when we reach 100 and then some, we'll be back here still doing this, right?
I can see us now. Absolutely. I'll see you then.
All right, Barbara, see you then.
Thanks a lot.